only he hadn't run away.
He has killed a man. He is afraid.
But he has nowhere to go.
He may run the whole length of Norway. He may try to cross over into Sweden. Come. Ah, Freddy. Any news?
Nothing, sir. They're pulling more troops off the exercise to join the manhunt.
Commander Niles, Captain of HMS Hero, Major Bradland, my ADC.
Lieutenant Palfrey belongs to you, sir.
He was in charge of a small Royal Marine Commando unit who were attached to HMS Hero for the duration of the exercise.
Sit down, Freddy. What is the mood out there? Among the troops, I mean.
Not good, sir. Major Kronig, the officer Palfrey killed, was very popular here. A local man.
Do we have any more details of what happened?
All we know is that Palfrey and his Marines were captured during the exercise. Palfrey alone was being interrogated by Major Kronig. Palfrey attacked Kronig. A karate blow. Killed him. Then Palfrey made an escape.
General Turing, regarding jurisdiction, who is to take him to trial?
We can discuss a trial when Palfrey has been taken, alive.
Alive? There's no question, surely.
Lieutenant Palfrey is a killer, Commander. A killer on the run in a foreign country. Who knows what the state of his mind may be?
Come in. Morning, sir. Anything from the embassy?
Yes, I've just spoken to the ambassador. He asked me to tell you to be rather careful what you say to the Norwegians about any trial or anything like that.
Did he? The ambassador himself?
Yes, sir.
Everybody keeps talking about a trial. They haven't caught him yet. Palfrey's a commando. He's trained in escape and evasion. He could probably stay out there for weeks if he wants to. Take your time. Does anyone know you're here?
Sir, I killed him.
I know, Peter.
But he's dead, sir. I hit him, and it was so quick. I'd do anything to...
There's nothing you can do. If it was an accident...
It was, I swear to God, I didn't mean to kill him. It's a nightmare. I can't believe... If I had the courage, I'd... Well, I don't want to go on anyway.
Smoke?
Sir, I want...
Another?
I want to go home, sir.
Well, I have to see about that.
No, you don't understand, sir. No, I have to be punished. I should be, but I want a court-martial. A naval trial in England. Please.
Well, I don't know what I can do. It's a high-level decision. It's not my responsibility.
That's what he used to say when he was alive.
Who?
My father. Very fond of that word. Responsibility. It's all here in his diary. Responsibility, duty, facing the consequences of one's actions.
I'm going to lock this cabin, but I'll send along the medical assistant and some food. Now, you know where the bathroom is. And you can use my bunk.
Thank you, sir.
But you will hand him over to the proper authorities. You are not claiming the, what is it called, the immunity of a British warship.
No, sir.
Good.
But,
Yes, Commander?
General, you and I are serving officers. We understand each other. We were both young officers ourselves once.
So was Major Cronig. He will not grow any older. But his children will. A girl of 6, a boy of 4.
If he is tried here, sir, it will become an emotional affair. The foreigner who has struck down a Norwegian officer.
Those are the facts. Lieutenant Palfrey killed on Norwegian soil. He should be tried on Norwegian soil.
I'm not suggesting, sir, that a Norwegian court will be prejudiced, but there are the language difficulties, the need for foreign counsel, local pressures on the prosecution. The odds will be similarly against a Norwegian officer in a British court.
What the commander means...
I think I know what the commander means, Freddie. A court-martial by your Royal Navy. That is what you want.
Yes, sir. It would be a just trial.
It is not my decision, of course.
But your recommendation, sir, would be crucial. And a trial here could cause international ill feeling.
That is a relevant point.
Yes, yes, yes. But I am not disposed to make things easier for Lieutenant Palfrey.
Things won't be easy for him, sir. On a manslaughter charge, he'll face a maximum sentence of imprisonment for life.
Won't be long now.
You think so?
Chin up.
Do you know the legal definition of manslaughter?
No.
Unlawful killing without direct intention to kill or even to do grievous bodily harm. In other words, it doesn't matter that you didn't mean it.
Look, don't give up. It could show.
I don't really care.
Mrs. Palfrey's here.
Oh, fine. Your mother's here. You can have a minute or two. Don't you want to?
Yes, all right.
I should stay, but I'll be just outside the door.
Darling, Now, how are you?
Fine.
Yes, you look well.
I asked you not to come, Mother.
Let's sit down a moment. We've only got a minute.
Yes, I know.
Now, the thing is, darling, I know you did nothing wrong. Whatever happens, I know that.
But I did. I killed a man. There's no defense for that.
Mr. Cook will find one. He's a very good barrister, you know.
He was your idea, wasn't he?
Yes. Well, he'll give you a fighting chance. You have all my sympathy. You always have had it. You know, I never wanted you to go into any of the services.
Well, I shan't be in them very much longer. Commander Hilliard will see to that.
Commander Hilliard?
He's the prosecutor. Naval barrister and pretty ruthless by all accounts. Like my father.
Now, Peter, forget your father. Put what he was right out of your mind. He paid a terrible price for winning all those medals and killing all those men. I know the nightmares and the screams in the night. Darling, whatever happens, I love you. Just be brave.
Bring in the accused.
The accused is represented, sir, by Mr. J.C. Cook, barrister at law.
Admit the prosecutor and audience.
Do you admit to being the person named in the charge sheet?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you agree with your description therein, and that you are now and were at the time of the alleged offence subject to the Naval Discipline Act?
Yes, sir.
You are charged for that on the 30th day of May of this year, you did unlawfully kill Major Hans Kronig of the Norwegian Land Forces. On this charge, how say you? Are you guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, sir.
He's pleaded not guilty, gentlemen, so you'll all have to wait.
At the time of the alleged offence, the accused was serving in Her Majesty's ship Hero. He has since been lent to Her Majesty's ship Drake. On 30th of May of this year, the accused was embarked in HMS Hero on temporary attachment during exercise Tally-Ho. He had command of a small party comprising himself, 2 NCOs and 2 Royal Marines. The task was to be a daylight raid on the Norwegian island of Norsen, designated as enemy territory for the purposes of the exercise. The landing was successful and the party then had to scale a cliff. On top of the cliff was their objective, a radar station commanding the sea approaches to the island. On the accused orders, the party split in 2 at the top of the cliff. One section under the Marine Sergeant was to act as a diversion. The accused and another Marine approached the radar station. The accused dealt with the barbed wire. The sergeant created the diversion. The accused was able to make his attack on the radar station. He placed a charge of explosive against the control room door. It was at this point that the plan misfired. The accused, together with his entire party, was captured by a unit of the Norwegian Armed Forces under Lieutenant Gross. The accused was taken to the Norwegian field headquarters for interrogation. The interrogation took place in accordance with the rules of the exercise, and at no time was the accused physically maltreated, nor threat thereof made. The interrogation was conducted by Major Hans Kronig of the Norwegian forces. On Tuesday, 11th of June, the accused appeared before me and was charged with the offense listed on the accompanying charge sheet. The accused was cautioned and had nothing to say. I have the honor to be, sir, your obedient servant, K.C. Hilliard, Commander, Royal Navy. All witnesses are present, sir, and we are ready to proceed.
Very well.
Sergeant Watkins, you were second in command of the raiding party landed from HMS Hero.
Yes, sir.
Will you tell the court what happened when you landed on the island?
We secured the dinghy and then we climbed the cliff, sir.
What then?
We remained in cover for a short while Mr. Palfrey decided what to do.
And what did he decide?
He ordered me to take a man and to show ourselves to the guard around the radar station. We were to be a decoy, sir, while he and the corporal made the attack.
You say decoy?
We were to draw the fire, sir. Take the attention of the guard so Mr. Palfrey could make his run unobserved.
Were you not afraid of being shot?
They were only using blanks, sir.
Did every Marine know that blanks were being used?
I'm sorry, sir, but that is asking for a conclusion which the witness is not competent to give.
I beg your pardon, sir. What were your weapons loaded with?
Blank ammunition, sir.
Were operation orders issued for the exercise?
Yes, sir.
And did they specify the type of ammunition to be used in the land battle?
Yes, sir.
And so you clearly understood that with the exception of the explosive carried by Lieutenant Palfrey, no live ammunition was to be used in this phase of the exercise?
Correct, sir.
Were you at any time in any doubt that this was an exercise upon which you were engaged?
No, sir.
Nor that the opposing forces assuming the role of the enemy were other than our Norwegian allies?
Correct, sir.
Were you disposed to treat this exercise as anything other than a tough but reasonable form of commando training?
No, sir, I was not.
Thank you.
Sergeant Watkins, Lieutenant Palfrey carried live explosive, did he not?
It was capable of detonation, sir, when rigged.
Enough to blow up the entire brick-built control room section of the radar station?
Yes, sir.
Conditions were then, if not those of war, certainly pretty dangerous.
Not for a Royal Marine, sir. They were tough.
It was a realistic test, in other words.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant.
No further questions, sir?
You may stand down, Sergeant.
So.
Call Commander Niles, please, sir.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
You are Commander Mark Niles, OBE, Royal Navy Commanding Officer of Her Majesty's ship Hero.
I am.
Did HMS Hero take part in exercise Tally-Ho in May of this year?
She did.
Was the accused embarked, and if so, for what purpose?
The accused was in command of a small detachment of Royal Marine Commandos who were to be landed as a daylight raiding party on the island of Norsen.
And you so landed them?
I did.
Did you brief the accused in this exercise?
I did.
Was the accused conscious of the fact that he and his men would be using blank ammunition? I'll rephrase that, sir. Were you at any time in any doubt as to the type of ammunition with which the Marines would land?
I believe that they would land with blank ammunition in accordance with the exercise orders.
And what did you understand to be the final phase of the accused's raiding exercise?
He was to place explosive against the wall of a derelict building dressed to represent an enemy radar station and detonate the explosive.
Did you feel it necessary to point out to the accused that this was a dummy building and not a real radar station?
No, I did not think that necessary.
Did the accused at any time give you cause to believe that he did not understand that the whole thing was an exercise?
I was satisfied that he knew the precise nature of his duties ashore.
Thank you, Commander.
I have no questions for Commander Niles, sir, arising directly from the prosecution's examination. I may later, however, crave the court's indulgence to call him as a witness for the defense.
Very well, Mr. Cook. You may stand down, Commander. If you agree, sir, this would seem an appropriate time to adjourn for lunch. Very well.
I've been here before, you know.
Oh?
Yes, one of Peter's friends is married in the church here.
Ah, yes. So I enjoy naval weddings. Guard of honor, swords drawn, all that.
Oh, I meant to ask you, why was that sword in front of the president?
It's Peter's.
Hmm?
The clerk took it from him when he came into the court. And when we eventually go in for the finding, we can tell if it's guilty or not by looking at the sword. If the hilt is towards Peter, then he's not guilty. But if the point is towards him, he is.
It'll be point towards, won't it?
I'm no legal. I simply can't tell. I'm afraid it's time we were getting back.
Yes.
But, my dear fellow, do listen to reason. I must put you on the stand.
There's nothing I want to say.
But, Peter, we agreed.
I know, but I don't want to go through it all over again. Not in front of everyone.
But they must hear you. You must testify on oath. If you don't, they'll think you've something to hide, that you're afraid of cross-examination.
Well, I am.
Just tell the truth, Peter. That's enough.
Enough? The truth is that I killed a man. You want me to stand up and boast about it?
Look, Peter, you don't understand.
Oh, yes, I do.
Are you Lieutenant Peter Michael Palfrey, Royal Marines?
Yes, sir, I am.
How long have you been in the service?
4.5 years, sir.
And what made you select the Royal Marines as opposed to the Army or the Royal Navy?
I believe the Royal Marines to be the finest corps in the world, sir.
Have you as yet been in action with them?
Not yet, no, sir.
This raid, then, was the nearest thing to action which you've yet encountered?
Yes, sir, it was.
As far as you know, had the men whom you led on that occasion been in action themselves?
All of them had been in Northern Ireland and some in other theatres, too.
So they were better qualified to distinguish between war and a war game.
Mr. Cook, if you please.
My apologies, sir. To recap, Lieutenant, would you say that you were more or less experienced than the men you led on that raid?
Less experience, sir.
Were you briefed before the raid?
Yes, sir, by Commander Niles in HMS Hero.
Were you satisfied with that briefing?
Yes, sir, I was.
Commendable of you to say that. Will you now tell the court, please, what happened after you landed on the island?
We scaled the cliff and then split into two separate parties.
And that was your decision, was it, to split up?
Yes, sir, I was in command.
Of your first raid?
Yes, sir.
Please continue.
I led the attack on the radar station.
What were you carrying?
Explosives, sir.
To destroy the radar station?
Yes, sir.
Do you mean that you intended literally to blow up the building?
Yes, sir.
Those were your orders?
Yes, sir.
Were your actions any different from those which would have been necessary had this been a war situation?
No, sir, the problems were exactly the same.
I see. And did you blow up the radar station?
No, sir, I was captured before I could detonate the explosive.
How did the opposing forces, how did they capture you? What did the arresting officer do?
He put a pistol against my temple.
Did he do that very suddenly?
Well, yes.
And were you very shocked by that?
I suppose I was, yes.
And what happened then?
Then I was taken to a building and
then?
I was interrogated.
What form did this interrogation take?
A light was shone into my eyes.
A light? A powerful light?
Yes,
in
sir.
a dark room?
Yes, sir.
Very powerful?
Yes, sir.
And what then?
I was asked a lot of questions.
When will the main force make its landings and in what strengths? Come along now, Lieutenant. It's purely a point of information of no real consequence.
Peter Palfrey,
When do they land?
Peter
In what strength? I will find out from your men, if not from you, so why waste everybody's time?
Peter Palfrey.
Come now, will it be raiders, Marines like yourself, perhaps, or a small commando force, using one of your light raiding craft?
Peter Palfrey, Lieutenant, Royal Marines.
How did you feel at this time?
I'm sorry, sir.
I asked, how did you feel, Lieutenant Palfrey?
Oh, sort of numb at first.
I see. And how were these questions asked?
I'm sorry, sir. What did you ask
The
me?
officer who interrogated you, how did he speak? Did he shout at you?
He spoke softly some of the times. Other times he shouted.
My rank is as a major! You should know about rank! Rank has to be earned, Mr. Palfrey. You should know that.
Sir. Major.
Lieutenant, I ask you again, how did you feel?
Upset, I suppose.
Did this questioning seem real to you?
Not altogether, no.
Did it seem unreal?
Well, yes.
After all, Lieutenant, what does it matter now, my dear fellow? You know, you behave very foolishly. I speak not personally, purely in a military sense. Sure, your sergeant must have suggested that you go around the edge of the cliff, and that way we may never have seen you at all.
So he told you?
Nobody told me anything. But directly both your parties moved forward, we could see you. Why didn't you go around the back of us, the blind side? It was so obvious. Any experienced soldier must have seen it. Get the lieutenant some coffee, will you?
Is the accused fit to continue?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Very well.
Lieutenant Palfrey, can you remember the effect this questioning had upon you?
Well, sir, it was a kind of a hammering away at... It was most upsetting, sir.
And you wanted, above all, to make that hammering stop?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you remember striking the officer, Major Kronig?
Yes, sir, I do, but it felt as if someone else was doing it.
No more questions, sir.
Lieutenant Palfrey, you have yourself described the Royal Marines as being the finest corps in the world.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that, sincerely?
Yes, sir, I do.
And therefore you would agree that the selection of both officers and men demands an exceptionally high standard of courage and resource?
Yes, sir.
Is the training well balanced?
Yes, sir.
Physically tough?
Come on then, Palfrey, start moving yourself quickly, that's the idea, come on! And move your left hand, that's it, come on, hard and still! That's it, come on, hurry up! Come on, the time's coming, come on, we're losing the time, that's the idea! Come on then, Mr. Palfrey, that's the idea, come on! Hard and still, you feel like a three-bag frog at the moment! Come on, quickly, that's it, come on, straight out, away we go! Come on, sprint, sprint, sprint all the way! Come on, time's running out, time's running out! Come on then, Palfrey, you've got to move yourself a little bit harder still to get in the time, that's the idea! Come on, you're supposed to be leading! Leader of men, that's what you're supposed to be doing, come on! 5 seconds to go, come on, get up! That's it, come on, quickly, get the rope between the legs! That's it! Come on, harder still! That's it! Come on, we're loafing a little bit, we've got to lead, that's the idea! And away we go, down, and push, that's it, right through! Grab, and pull, that's the idea! That's beautiful, lovely swim now, come on, let's grab the rifles and let's go! Come on, we're wasting time, men, come on, grab the rifle, that's it! Come on, you're supposed to be leading! Leader of men, that's what you're supposed to be doing, come on, hurry up!
Lieutenant Palfrey, I asked you if the training was physically tough.
Well, yes, sir, it is.
And therefore you would agree that a man emerges from Royal Marines training as a well-balanced and resourceful individual, in command of and aware of his limitations and capabilities?
Yes, sir, I think that's true.
And you would expect such a man to know the difference between an exercise and an action?
Yes, sir.
Then you fully understood that tally-ho was an exercise?
Yes, sir.
Were you told that the ammunition issued to you and your party was blank ammunition?
Yes, sir.
Were you told that the opposing forces would be using blanks?
Yes, sir.
And therefore you knew that the pistol placed against your temple on capture carried blank ammunition?
I didn't know, sir.
You didn't know. Were you told that if you were captured in this exercise, you'd almost certainly be interrogated
Yes, sir.
Were you told that you'd be questioned about your unit and the composition of your forces?
Yes, sir.
In the event, was it a brutal interrogation?
Sir?
Were you beaten up?
No, sir.
Punched?
No, sir.
Slapped?
No, sir.
Were you drugged, starved, assaulted?
No, sir.
Then what form did the interrogation take?
Well, I was asked questions.
Major Kronig spoke to you.
Yes, sir.
Did Major Kronig offer you a cigarette?
Well, yes, sir. I think he did.
Coffee?
Yes, sir.
Water?
Yes, sir.
Advice?
Sir?
Did he tell you, as one NATO officer to another, that you had failed?
I think...
Did he?
Yes, sir.
If you're taking the advice of an older man, an experienced soldier, your mission might have been extremely successful. Instead, you went for glory. Or would that be too strong a way of putting it? That, in your particular case, is perfectly understandable, is it not? Your name, Lieutenant Palfrey, a very distinguished one. Never mind. We can never live up to the image of our fathers. As if Freud said something about that. We constantly fail them, at least in our own eyes.
You have had considerable training in unarmed combat, have you not?
Yes, sir.
Were you told that your hands, properly used, constitute a deadly weapon? Were you told in training that your hands could kill a man?
Yes, sir.
And were you taught how to kill in this fashion?
Yes, sir.
In combat against the enemy?
Yes, sir.
And on this occasion you used this force and this knowledge to kill an ally?
No, sir. I didn't mean... I didn't mean to kill him, sir. I didn't mean to do that.
Thank you, Lieutenant Palfrey.
I have no further questions for the accused, sir.
Stand down.
I should like now, sir, to recall Commander Niles, if you please.
Commander Niles, you remain under oath.
I understand, sir.
Commander, I shall be as brief as possible. In view of the outcome of this raid, do you consider that you gave this young and inexperienced officer a full and proper briefing?
I considered that I did at the time.
And now?
Now I cannot be sure.
Very well, I accept that. I must ask you this, and I'll ask you to consider it very carefully. It's probably the most important question I shall ask you. Did Palfrey at the time seem grave and apprehensive, as might be expected in a young officer going on his first raid?
Not grave, nor apprehensive, no.
What then?
A little overconfident, perhaps.
A little overconfident?
Yes.
And do you now, with hindsight, consider that a proper attitude for his first raid?
Sir, I must object to the continuous use of the word raid. This was merely one phase of an exercise.
We know what is meant, Commander Hilliard. Carry on, Mr. Cook.
Commander, I shall come straight to the point. I put it to you, regretfully, that you made no effort to temper Palfrey's overconfidence with your own knowledge and experience. You merely pushed him ashore, and in so doing, as it was his first raid, you pushed him into the unknown.
You may put it to me, Mr. Cook, but it is not true that he was insufficiently briefed.
Then it is true that he was insufficiently experienced.
I was little older than he is when I had command of a minesweeper.
But you were older.
Yes.
And more experienced.
Yes.
Thank you. No more questions.
No questions, sir.
Stand down, Commander.
That concludes the defense case, sir.
Commander Hilliard, do you wish to sum up?
May it please the court, I shall be extremely brief. As the judge advocate will be advising you, Prosecution in this case merely has to prove that the accused killed in commission of an unlawful act. The intention to kill, or even to do grievous bodily harm, need not be present. You have heard the accused today admit that he did not mean to kill Major Kronig, but he did kill him, and kill him in the commission of an unlawful act, an assault, striking a superior officer who was going about his duties in a kind and conscientious manner. The accused did kill Major Kronig, and killed him without just cause and without reasonable excuse.
Sir, I too shall be brief. And may I say at the outset that I do not dispute any part of the admirably brief summary of the prosecution, save for one small, evocative phrase. Without just cause. We've heard evidence today that this young officer, unlike the men he led, had no experience of this level of training. He had never before landed on a foreign shore, armed, tense, desperate to avoid detection. A young and inexperienced officer, yet fiercely keen to uphold his honor and the honor of his corps. Now, the enemy, of course, were a very real threat to that. The enemy could prevent him blowing up his target, and if he did not blow it up, he would fail. Palfrey had worked himself up to a high pitch of determination. Perhaps understandably. No one in HMS Hero thought fit to temper that determination with a word of caution. Commander Niles had built up an atmosphere of confidence, tension, reality. HMS Hero on that day was at war. Defeat was unthinkable. But Palfrey was defeated. Almost at the very moment of his triumph, Lieutenant Gross put a gun to his head and he was captured. Now, his more experienced colleagues could perhaps have dismissed this as, shall we say, the fortunes of war. But, as we know, Palfrey lacked experience, that experience which gives perspective. He was brought before Major Kronig, and into that interrogation room were brought with him the shame of failure, the indignity of capture, and those tensions born of his determination and his dedication, tensions which would so easily have dissipated themselves in the blowing up of the radar station. They had taken away the explosives from Palfrey. They had not defused him. There was only one way in which he could salvage his mission and restore his self-respect, one way in which he could defuse himself. And that was by escaping from the enemy. He attempted it, but in that very attempt came the explosion. And the man died. Without just cause. Are we saying there is no excuse, no pardon for such an error? Where is the element of criminality? In confusion, in inexperience, in determination, in a sense of duty, which drives a man across that invisible line. Gentlemen, the man who stands here before you today needs no punishment from you to remind him of that moment in which Major Kronig died.
If I get any more attached to this sword, I have to marry the damn thing.
No.
No, thank you, sir. That was a good speech, sir. It convinced me.
Did it? Wish to God I got it over with now. Really guilty.
I thought your mother looked to be bearing up well.
She has to. She's a Palfrey.
Cigarette, sir?
No, thanks, no. What's happening?
Court's closed to consider the finding.
Shouldn't take them long. What are the prospects?
I can't say I'm hopeful.
As I say, they've got no choice in law.
There is a choice of sentence. They'll give me a chance to call character witnesses. Look, I know I blasted you rather in the box, but you could do a lot for him.
I hardly know him. Surely he's Marine commanding officer.
No, we'll cover all that with his service record, but you're a good witness. I don't want anyone umming and ahhing at this stage. If I need you, Commander, I'm going to call you.
I shall now read the finding of the court. The court finds the accused guilty. The finding is signed by all members of the court and countersigned by the judge advocate.
No, there'll be some time yet. They have to go through all that business about his official record.
I should like to call one character witness, namely Commander Niles.
Commander Niles?
Commander, will you tell the court in your own time and your own way your assessment of the character of Lieutenant Palfrey?
When Lieutenant Palfrey came to my ship, it was as a Royal Marine officer, and as such, I expected him to be highly trained and highly competent. I did not at first look beyond that expectation. What I had not realized in Palfrey's case was that his training in a military context had already begun when he was still a child. He is the son of a great and gallant soldier who was highly decorated for valor in the face of the enemy. Long before Lieutenant Palfrey joined the Royal Marines, his standards were set for him. This diary was kept by his father during all the campaigns in which he took part. On his death 10 years ago, as a long-term result of wounds received in Korea, that diary passed to Lieutenant Palfrey. But far from being merely a document of interest and sentimental attachment, it became for Palfrey a symbol of all that was expected of him. He landed there down the island of Norsen, not only with Sergeant Watkins and 3 Royal Marines, but with the spectre of a great general. He landed in fear, not of physical injury, but of failure. You have asked me about the character of this young officer. I believe that he took upon himself the character and the example of his dead father, and that it was in character for him to react as he did when interrogated. We decorated the father. We have convicted the son.
Thank you, Commander.
The court, having found the accused guilty of the offence charged, adjudges him, the said Lieutenant Peter Michael Palfrey, Royal Marines, to be imprisoned for the term of 18 calendar months, to be dismissed from Her Majesty's service, and to suffer the consequential penalties involved.
Lieutenant Palfrey, in sentencing you, the court accepts the very valid points made by your counsel and by the commanding officer of Her Majesty's ship Hero. In view of this, and of your exemplary service record, the court will recommend to the convening authority that, if the Admiralty Board sees fit, it might consider remitting the sentence of dismissal and suspending the sentence of imprisonment. It will be our plea and our recommendation that you be permitted to continue to serve as an officer in the Royal Marines.
The president of the Jacob
Commander.
Mr. Cook.
I'd like to thank you for speaking as you did.
Well, thank you, Mr. Cook.
Mrs. Palfrey's in there if you'd care for a word with her.
Oh, yes. Okay. You live to be proud of him.
I'm proud of him now.